Welcome back to another Sweet Talks pod. Tonight we had a very, very special guest.
She was absolutely amazing, and I know this introduction is a little different, but it's because her mic turned off for the first 15 fucking minutes of this podcast, and we couldn't really do shit about it.
Her name is Daniela Clark, and she's a wife to a very big artist from a very big group from a while back called Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses was and still is one of the biggest rock bands the world has ever seen. If you want to search out one of those videos, those concerts were absolutely insane.
Man, they're crazy. But aside from that, Daniela made a name for herself, creating the low-rise jeans actually worn by J-Lo, and her brand is called Frankie B Jeans.
She talked about starting it in 1999 with her first year only doing $50,000 in sales, the second year jumping up to $1.5 million, the third year going all the way up to $6.5 million, and to date doing over $100 million in sales.
Daniela started with a couple $1,000s and she made a big name for herself, like Julian said. And she'll talk about every step she went through in this podcast. So I hope you guys enjoy, and here's the pod.
And we're at a point in this podcast where she shares one of the hardest lessons that she had to learn from being in the business. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this podcast.
Have to respect and suspect everyone.
Yeah.
And be as cool as possible to everyone that you meet, because everyone that you meet going up that ladder is everyone that you're going to have to deal with going down that ladder,
right?
Because everything that goes up comes down, and everything goes, in waves. Yeah. So, I try to always kind of like, keep that in the back of my mind. And when I met people, I would talk to people that were coming in and out of the factories. And I met this girl, and I said to her, who helps you? How do you know what to do financially? How do you, what do I need? Do I need to have, a business license? Do I need to have, how do I file my taxes? What do I do? I was really young. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I have these accountants that I work with, and they are based in the garment industry. So I was like, oh my God, can I have their phone number? So then I went and met with them, and then they told me how to build an infrastructure. They sat me down and they said, okay, you need to have an in-house bookkeeper, an everyday person that helps you. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You need to put in a system, like a computer system that tracks your inventory, that, you need to buy this, you need to buy that. You need to hire somebody that watches your production, a production manager. You need to hire a quality control person.
My gosh.
So all of a sudden, all these things that I was doing all by myself and just kind of learning along the way, I had to start implementing professionally, because now I had a bona fide business, a company. Yeah. So that's what I did. Yeah. So it was crazy.
I feel like back then, and what we take kind of for granted now, social media is so big and technology has advanced so much.
Right.
But back then you had to hire those people. Yes. Do you feel like if now you had your brand was growing now, you were fresh and all that, you would have made more money because of social media?
No. I actually think that it's harder now, because now there's so much noise, right? There's so many brands out there. Everybody's selling something to you on social media. Right. Literally everyone is selling you something. Mm-hmm. Everyone. Yeah. And even influencers are pushing you into the direction that they're getting paid to push you into. It's, it's a lot harder now to kind of stand apart. And back then it was all organic. I didn't have social media back then. I didn't even know that existed. But, and people found you just because you had something cool to offer in the store, So it was very different. But it's also an interesting time now, because with social media, it gives a lot more opportunity to put yourself out there. So it's kind of like a catch-22. You still have to have a good product. You still have to have something unique that you're offering. And maybe that's what kind of helps you create buzz, is because you have something really interesting and unique, and you stand for something. You have a voice now. So, I think it's a double-edged sword, because now with social media, you get to really speak your mind, and your brand can really have an opinion and have a stance, and stand for something. Where before you were a little bit more anonymous behind the brand. you know?
That's very true.
Yeah.
But
so do you think that's better now?
that's definitely better. You know, definitely better, because you can definitely communicate, and you can talk to your followers and communicate with them. You know, you can engage people, where that wasn't the case back then. You know, back then it was more about like having a sales rep, getting it into the stores, and then having to pay for advertising and, you know, PR. Where now it is kind of, in a sense, it's almost kind of going back in time to having it be more organic. If you're not going the influencer route and you're really just, you know, going the grassroots route, you know, if that makes sense. It just kind of, you know, it's hard, because it really is a double-edged sword. There's, you also have a lot more transparency now, right? Like you know, so, you know, there's that.
I just want to kind of go back when you were saying, like, you know, you saw, who was it with the tight jeans?
Robert Plant.
And that, like, you saw that. What is it about you that you think, like, can see something like that and be like, I need that? Because I feel like that's pretty, like, rare, no?
That's a good question. No one's ever asked me that.
That's really hard to do.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people.
It's like a talent. It is
yeah,
a talent.
it's almost like a gift to be like, that's a hole. And like, because like you said, when you took those jeans to everybody, they were like,
oh, hell
those
no.
are way too fucking low. Like that is not gonna work. But you just believed in them so hard. But like, what is that? Like, what do you think?
I think it was just I think it was mainly because it was just a little bit of confidence. And I think that I just thought they would be cute and I could talk everybody into them.
Right.
I don't know.
I just really believed in the product.
I just believed in the product. I really thought, like, well, I was wearing them and I was getting stopped everywhere I went. Everywhere I went, people were like, damn, who makes those jeans? Oh my God, I want a pair of those. I'm like, oh, I make them, sorry, you know. I just make them for myself, for my husband, my friends, you know, and it just kind of, it really was like a light bulb moment when that actress, Laura Flynn Boyle, said, well, I'll pay you if you make me a pair. And I was just like, oh, so maybe there's other people out there that wouldn't pay me to make them some jeans, you know. But I think I've also always kind of been rebellious in the way I dress. And I think that came from when I was younger. You know, my mom bought me a sewing machine when I was 12. And I've always kind of wanted to be a little bit of a sexy dresser, I guess, even when I was young. And but my mom wouldn't really buy me those kind of clothes. So I would just like attack her linen closet and make myself something, or take her clothes and hope she never found out, and recut them and resew them and make them shorter, tighter, sexier. And then when I met my husband, for those listening, my husband, at the time when I met him, he's a guitar player. He still is a guitar player. And when he got into Guns N' Roses and being on tour and being around all of that, it kind of gives you a license to be wilder.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'll tell you.
I can't even imagine, honestly.
I was re-looking at some of those videos today, and I wanted to ask you, like how was that? Like, I feel like there's nothing like that today.
It was really crazy. And I'll backtrack a little bit. I met my husband when I was 16. I was born in Israel and I was raised in South Africa because my mom is South African. Oh, wow. And my parents, my dad was American. And at the time, my parents were divorced. And I came out to America to visit my dad. We were on summer break. And so me, my brother, my sister, I was 16. My brother was 14 and my sister was 11. And you'll know why I'm telling you their ages. So my dad, we were just out here visiting my dad, and my dad was like, do you guys want to see Hollywood Boulevard? Do you want to go see like the footprints of the stars and everything? And I was like, yeah, let's go. So my dad took us to go to Hollywood Boulevard, and I saw this crowd of people standing around, and I was like, oh, what are they doing? And someone goes, oh, this band is filming their video for MTV. So I stood around and I was watching, and I saw my husband standing on top of a car, and he had ripped up jeans with fishnet stockings underneath. His hair was sticking up all over the place, long black hair, tons of black eyeliner. And I was like, oh, that guy's really cute. And I was just staring at him, and he saw me and I saw him, and that was it. We just saw each other. And I was just staring at him the whole time. And then my dad was like, come on, we got to go. We're going to go get ice cream. So we left to go get ice cream. We're standing in the ice cream store, and some girl like taps me on the shoulder, and she goes, excuse me, but you were just on the set of that music video. And I go, yeah. And she goes, the guitar player wants to talk to you. So I was like, be right back, kids.
Oh,
I told my dad and my brother and my sister, I'll be right back. And I ran back to the set with the makeup artist. She turns out she was the makeup artist. No, I'm sorry. She was the makeup artist. And so I ran back to the set with her. She was doing hair and makeup. And she brought me over to my now husband, Gilby. And first thing he said to me was like, hi, what's your name? And I said, I'm Daniela. And he goes, Daniela, how old are you? And I knew right away I'm going to lie, because there's no way. If I tell him I'm 16, he's not going to go out with me.
Yeah.
So I just said, I'm 18. And he goes, oh, okay. So we started dating, immediately started dating.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
At that time, how old was he?
22.
Oh, wow.
23.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he didn't know how old I was. So nowadays he'd be like,
catching a case.
Canceled.
Yeah.
So, so he didn't know how old I was, though, to his defense. And I just lied to him and told him I was 18. And I started to date him. And then it was time for us to go back to South Africa. So my dad had taken me, my brother, and my sister back to the airport. We said goodbye to my dad, and we're walking through from where they take your ticket to the actual plane. And I looked at my brother and my sister, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to go back home with you guys. I'm going to take off with Gilby. I'm going to stay with him.
Oh.
And they were
Did
like,
you know the whole time, or you just, you felt,
knew.
oh, you knew the
And
whole time?
I knew
your
it was gonna
dad
stay.
didn't know?
My dad didn't know. We had said goodbye to my dad. And so I put my brother, who was 14, and my sister, who was 11, on the plane and sent them back to South Africa on their own. Can you imagine my mom getting to the airport and supposed to pick up 3 kids?
Yeah.
Rebellious, huh?
Yeah.
And I feel like, by the time they got there, you were already gone.
Gone.
Yeah, you were
gone. Long gone. Yeah, long gone. So I took off with Gilby and stayed with him. I enrolled in school. I went to, I said to him, I need to go to a school. And so I went to high school, and he would come and pick me up from high school. And I honestly thought he was like Elvis and I was Priscilla. And I had this whole situation going on in my head.
You kind of were.
Right?
You kind of were.
Yeah, you kind of were.
Honestly.
So we were together for about 6 years, and then he proposed to me, and my parents were like super angry and really pissed off. They were like, what are you gonna go out with a musician? He's gonna cheat on you. He's gonna have a girl in every city. You're an idiot, and I was just like, well, okay, but I'm gonna be with him.
Wait. I'm sorry once again, but so your siblings got back to South Africa, right? Mm-hmm. And you were enrolled in a high school.
Yeah.
So what were you doing in the meantime? Did you have any contact with your dad, or?
Yeah, I called my dad and I told him. I called my dad.
Okay with it?
No, my dad was so mad. Are you kidding? My dad was like, no. My dad was like, I'm going to call the police. This is wrong. You're a little girl. And I was like, Dad, if you call the police, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to find him. I'm never going to leave him. I'm always going to find him. I'm just going to run away, and then you'll never know where I am. And I said to my dad, I go, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to enroll in school. I'm going to get a job. I'm not going to need money from you guys. I just want to be emancipated. I want to do my own thing, you know? And my dad was like, there's no way. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill you. My dad was so mad. My dad was so mad. But I was like, you can't keep me from him. I'm going to always find him. So you're wasting your time. So you either have to kind of go along with the program here and know where I am, or you're never going to hear from me again.
Oh my gosh.
So they had no choice. And he didn't know how old I was. And he was like, he was already like an up and coming musician in town. So I never had to show ID. We'd go to clubs and we'd go out every night, and we'd always go in through the back door. So it like worked out really well for me. It was like it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So I never had to show ID. I never had like an issue. And every time he asked me if I had let me see your driver's license or whatever. Oh, I can't find it. I don't know where it is.
Oh my gosh.
It was always some kind of lie.
Yeah.
And I like mastered that lie for a long time. And then when he asked me to marry him and we went down to the courthouse, I had to come clean. So we went down to the courthouse to go get our marriage license.
Yeah, so when was your birthday, Tim? Like, would you have birthdays around him? Or?
Yeah, but I was never the year that I was supposed to be.
So it would be like 19 on the cake.
Yeah.
19, but I'm 17 this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, So when we went to go get our marriage license, I said to him, I have something I have to tell you. And he's like, oh no, oh God, what do you have to tell me? And I go, well, I'm actually not the age you think I am. And he goes, well, how old are you? And I go, I'm 21. And he was like, oh my God. Ooh. So you've been lying this whole time? And I go, yeah. And he goes, I had a feeling. You never had your damn ID. You always had some excuse. Always had a story. I should have known. And well, that was that. So we got married.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that was
okay. 30 years plus. That sounds good to me. Yeah.
So we got married in 91.
Yeah.
So you can do the math. We're in 2022. And we got married and we went on our honeymoon, and we really didn't have any money. And the whole time we were on our honeymoon, we're like, shit, how are we going to pay for all this when we get back? No more steak dinners. When we get back, we've got to like watch out.
Eat some cup of noodles.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Cup of noodles. Or what was that? What was the one thing we used to eat all the time? Like rice-a-roni.
Oh, rice-a-roni.
Yeah.
Or some Spam.
I love rice-a-roni.
Yeah.
We went on our honeymoon. We came back. Our friends sent us on our honeymoon. That was like our big wedding gift from all of our friends. They chipped in.
Oh, nice.
And we came back from our honeymoon, and there was a message on our answering machine, which was what we had back in the day. We had answering machines, folks, with tapes inside of them, and we rewind to listen to your messages. Oh. And so I ran into our apartment and I played back our messages, and there was a message on our answering machine from Slash and from Guns N' Roses, and he said, hey, Gilby, we need a new guitar player. Izzy's not in the band anymore. We want to talk to you about playing guitar in GNR. And I was like, Gilby, one of your idiot friends just left a message on the machine pretending to be Slash.
At the time you knew who Slash was.
Yeah, but I was like, that's not Slash. That's one of Gilby's stupid friends playing a joke on us.
Yeah.
And Gilby listened to it and he's like, oh yeah, no, that's Slash. And the next thing I know, this guy I married is now going to go join the world's biggest and most dangerous band in the world. And
oh my God,
they're all dating supermodels. And I was like, oh shit.
I just got married.
Where does that leave me?
Oh my God.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I was really scared. I was kind of shitting myself. I'm like, oh my God.
I'd feel the same fucking way.
Yeah. I
would be like,
oh. It's over. He's going to leave me for Victoria's Secret models, and that's it. We're done.
Were you telling him that too? Like,
oh hell no.
Oh, no. You were?
No, I wouldn't say that to him. No way, because I'm confident.
That's good.
No, I don't want to.
That's amazing.
You never let them see you sweat. No.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
No way. I was just kind of like, oh shit, this is really bad. He's going to join this band and be out on the road and all these models, and what am I going to do? But we like, thank goodness he was really sensible. And, he was older than me already. He was close to 30 when he got that gig. So he said to me, look, the only way this is going to work is if you come out on tour with me and stay out on the road with me.
Nice.
Because we need to be together throughout this. Most important thing is our marriage. And this is for us and for our marriage. And so in order to make it work, you have to stay with me out on tour. So we made this rule kind of where we didn't stay apart longer than 2 weeks. And at the time, I didn't really have any responsibilities. I didn't have a career. I didn't have like a big job or anything. I was just kind of doing little odds and end jobs. And we didn't have kids, and I was young, and I wanted to be with him. And that sounded really, really fun. So I went out on the road with him, and,
it's an experience.
It is.
I definitely want to know about that. Like,
Sure.
behind the scenes, if like you're willing to talk about that.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, honestly, like I listen to a lot of music now, and like, obviously you were with one of the biggest rock stars ever, right?
Ever. Yeah,
right?
to this day.
And like part of the biggest rock group, the rock group, right?
Yeah, rock group.
Yeah, so like biggest rock band ever, going on tour. Like, I mean, the shows were crazy. The afterlife, like after the shows, everything's crazy.
It was crazier than you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
It was
God.
so crazy. It was not normal in the least bit. I mean, just to give you a little taste of what it was like, I mean, like all of a sudden it was like our phone was ringing off the hook. Our fax machine was going because that's what we used at the time. And people were at our door and cars were showing up. And I was like, whoa. And the weirdest thing was when he got the call to join the band, he went into audition first, and they were auditioning a bunch of different guitar players. And so for 2 weeks, he didn't even know if he got the gig or not. He just kept going in and auditioning, and they kept saying, okay, well, come back tomorrow. We're going to play with another guitar player, but come back tomorrow. And he would just come back and come back. And for 2 weeks, we didn't know. And I'd always ask him, like, did you get it? Did they say anything? Do you have a hint? And he's like, no, they haven't said anything. They're talking to a bunch of different guitar players. I don't know who's going to get it. And I don't know. And so we were sitting, after he was auditioning for like 2 weeks, I was sitting on the couch in our 1-bedroom apartment off of Melrose Place in West Hollywood. And I was sitting on the couch watching TV. I was watching MTV. And at the time, MTV, whenever they would have breaking news, they had like this globe that would spin around, and they would be like, we have breaking news. And so I'm watching MTV, watching videos and stuff. And all of a sudden the globe comes on. It goes, we have breaking news from the Guns N' Roses camp. New guitar player for Guns N' Roses is Gilby Clarke. And I'm like,
oh, shit.
That's how you found out?
That's how we found out.
Wow.
That's how we found out. So I'm like literally sitting there on the couch going,
Were you guys like jumping up and down after? Like, what is that like?
I was like, Gilby?
Oh, so he wasn't with you?
He wasn't even in the room. He was like in the next room. I'm like, Gilby?
Oh, you knew before him.
Well, he knew too. His phone was ringing. Everything was going at the same time. It was like instantly everything was going crazy.
Wow.
And he just, went. And so for the first, I told him, and I don't know, who knows why I was so like, sensible at the time because I was really young. Maybe I was naive. I don't know. But I told him, I said, look, for the first 2 weeks that you go out with the band, go by yourself without me, because I want you to bond with the guys, and you're not going to want to have, like your wife around and stuff. Like we just got married, and I was like, just go bond with the guys, and then I'll come out when you play, the next show. And they were playing, Madison Square Garden and all these shows and stuff. And so he flew me out to New York, and that was my first show seeing him play with GNR was in New York.
In the Garden?
Yeah. And they flew me out, and I get there, and I go into the elevator into the hotel, and the elevator door opens and I walk onto the hallway where our room is, where he told me where the room was going to be. And I walk up, as I'm walking down the hallway, the first person I see is Dizzy, who was the keyboard player. And he walks up to me and all I can smell is like alcohol. And
yeah,
like fumes. And he walks up and he's like, hey. And I'm like, oh, hey, I'm Gilby's wife. And he's like, oh, hey, nice to meet you.
Oh,
and
just drunk.
yeah. And just like fumes. And, back then everybody was like, drinking a lot and, and
it was a rock star lifestyle.
It was a rock star lifestyle. It's what you expected. But I was like, whoa, oh my God, this is crazy. And, and then they would play these shows and then, we'd get whisked off. Like, it was just like, you'd go from like hotel to the venue to straight after they finished playing, you'd get like thrown into a car and whisked to the airport to get on the plane and go to the next city to go play the next show. So a lot of the times that we didn't even like see where we were. And I started this thing where I started collecting postcards from the hotels to keep track of what city I'd been in, because it was so fast. I didn't even know where I'd been and where I hadn't been. So, a lot of the times like being on tour is kind of like, it's weird because it's like, it's super fun and really crazy and really wild, and the wildest shit happens. And other times it's like very lonely and kind of a letdown, because you think about it, they're playing to like crowds of like, sometimes they play these festivals, 100,000 people all screaming, and they're all like want a piece of them. And then it ends and everybody goes back to like a quiet hotel room. Or you get on a plane and you got to go somewhere else. So it's like kind of like really high highs and really low lows.
Yeah.
But sometimes, most of the time it was like party central. It was crazy. Like we would do these things where the band would have these after show parties and they would convert the whole backstage. They'd bring in like jacuzzis and
that sounds so fucking badass.
Yeah. Dude. I mean, it was crazy.
Was it like a lot of fun for you too?
Oh my God, I loved it. It was so much fun. I was so like wide-eyed. It was such a blast. There was so many fun times. Like, and we got to do things that were like most people can only dream of doing. And we wanted to go see a movie. Well, they would clear out the movie theater and just have just us in a movie theater, like all alone, just the band and girlfriends, wives, whatever. And we would just be, watching a movie. Or we wanted to go to the Eiffel Tower. They clear out the Eiffel Tower,
Okay.
It was just craziness.
Come on, that's baller right there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then the people that you meet, like, you meet like everybody. And it was like nuts. Like I remember one night we stayed up all night long hanging out with Lenny Kravitz and going to the Eiffel Tower with him, and then hanging out in some bar in Paris all night long till the light came out, till it was light outside. It was just nuts. It was just a crazy lifestyle, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Like, I'm so lucky, so fortunate that I got to experience that. It was insane.
Yeah, that's like once in a lifetime.
It is. Like, not many people could really do that. And especially like back then, like I feel like you get to see more of your favorite artists now because of the fact of social media. And you'll be like, I could just watch his show on YouTube, or they're streaming it. Yeah. But like back then, if you're missing the show, like you won't get to see them maybe ever again, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, for you, like, was it tough like back then? Because obviously I would say, I mean, from just my perspective, you would have more downtime than your husband because he's performing. Yeah. He's like going really, really hard. Like, was it tough for you too? Yeah. Because of that, you're always constantly on the move.
Yeah, it was really hard because I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, woe is me, because it was fucking amazing and insane. And I'm so grateful for that experience. But there were times where, you know, I'm just sitting in the hotel room, you're doing nothing, because he's out doing, you know, he had to go out and do press. He had to go do photo shoots. He had to go to rehearsal. He had to go to sound check. You know, he had to go receive some, you know, awards ceremony thing somewhere, or, you know, there was a band meeting, or, you know, there was always stuff. He was always busy. He was doing tons of interviews and always busy. Oops, sorry, I forgot to switch my phone off.
Okay.
So in those moments, like, I would sit there and just kind of be like, oh, okay, now what do I do? I'm a little bored, but that was like few and far between. Like, I started to learn, like, as I started getting used to being out on the road, I started to learn how to kind of occupy myself. And I would leave the room and I would go out and just walk around and try to see the city I was in. Nice. I would try to be like a little touristy and do some things, go to a museum or go shopping or go get something to eat or whatever. And I, you know, kept myself busy. So there was that.
Do you think that, like, being on the road so much and like seeing so many different places too, did that like grow your like your passion for fashion too? Absolutely.
It 100% lent to where I'm at today.
Because you get to see like so many different people dressing differently, seeing what's hot here.
Totally. And back then the internet wasn't as prevalent as it is now. So there wasn't globalization. Like back in those days, people actually went to France, and when they were in France, they would buy perfume and designer clothes. And when they were in Italy, they would look for leather goods like shoes and handbags, you know, things like that. Like every place like had its specialty. But now with globalization, and you can access everything with the internet, you can buy anything you want from anywhere. That wasn't like that back then. So I got exposed to a lot of really cool fashions. Like when I was in London with the guys, it blew my mind. The fashion and all the punk rockers and like all the cool shit that I was seeing was so influential. And then just being around the guys and seeing, like, you know, being a musician, you have a freedom to be wild and dress any way you want. And the individuality is part of it, right?
It is
all such a big part of it. And them knowing who they are and just wearing whatever the fuck they wanted. Like Slash would wear like these leather pants and he would just leave them open.
Just like
leave his button open, unzipped, you know, and just like play like that. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool, you know? And like Gilby always had like a really great sense of personal style too. Like he'd always wear like these, he kind of got known for wearing this fishnet shirt that he wore, like this like open fishnet shirt. It was like, you know, see-through, and he would always wear a lot of scarves, and he just looked so cool in the like bell bottoms and low-rise jeans, and like the guys looked insanely good. And they each had their own personal style. Like Duff always like dressed really cool too, and Axel had his thing going on. He wore like biker shorts and like Versace jackets. But, you know, like...
That's hard.
That's so dope.
Yeah. I mean, like people, you know, and that's the thing is like like back then people didn't have like stylists dressing them. They had their own personal sensibility of who they were. Yeah. You know, and I think that was really influenced me. And it allowed me to dress as wild as possible.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, I'll tell you a quick funny story. So we were on tour, and we were flying from somewhere in Europe back to England, and we were going on our ways. And the band had taken up the entire first class between the band and Girlfriends, Wives, crew, you know, whatever. We had the whole first class. So we get on and we sit down, and we take off, and the flight attendant comes up to me and says, "Excuse me, but do you have anything you can change into? Your outfit is a little offensive." And in first class, we have a dress code. This was back then.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, offensive? Damn. What? I was wearing a pair of little cut-off jean shorts, like booty shorts, really short. And I had a pair of platform shoes on and like a crop top. But, you know, I wasn't offensive. I was cute. I was like, you know, 22 years old.
You're covered up.
Doing your thing.
Yeah, but that's how we dressed, you know, back then. And they were so upset. And they were like, who's in charge over here? We need somebody who's in charge. And Matt Sorum, who is the drummer at the time, stood up and he's like, I am. Meanwhile, he's loaded and they're worried about my shorts.
Yeah.
We are going to interrupt this podcast and we are going to have a quick word from our sponsor here at BetterHelp.
And if you haven't heard of BetterHelp yet on this podcast, then you need to get that Q-tip, shove it deep in your ear, and get all that fucking earwax out of it.
Frank, we're looking at you.
How many times have you talked about BetterHelp?
Oh my gosh, at least 1,000 times.
Is it a good option if somebody's going through stress, if they're going through any type of depression, or if they're just stuck in like life's problems?
Any type of problem, I think that BetterHelp is amazing, especially if you're somebody who kind of fears going out and facing somebody face to face.
Because it's convenient, right? So you could do all your therapy on a laptop.
Or your phone.
You could talk to somebody, you could text, you could FaceTime them if that's more like convenient or more comfortable for you. You're not sitting in front of somebody, and a lot of times those sessions, they cost a lot of money too.
They do cost a lot. I've actually had a couple people in my life that have done therapy, and they're only able to do it for about like a month or so because of how expensive it is.
And that sucks too, because it's really expensive, but I feel like a lot of the times they say like it really helps though.
Yeah, it does help. And also too, like a month, like let's be honest, like a month, that's like putting like a Band-Aid over something. Like you want to do it for a little bit longer, but it sucks when your financial situation kind of holds you back from it.
Yeah, because I feel like the goal with therapy is like to talk to somebody, you know, just spill your problems, but they're also there to help you like
not need therapy,
not need them. Yeah, that's the goal, so that you don't need them. You understand how to solve your own problems on your own, and that's the perfect end goal. So BetterHelp hooked us up with a sweet offer. So if you're going through something, I just give it a try. Might as well give it a try.
We know you guys need it.
When you want a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/sweet and get 10% off your first month. That's HELP.com/sweet.
I'll repeat that one more time because he likes to fuck up.
It up.
That's HELP.com/sweet. Back to the rest of this podcast. I hope you guys try this out if you guys do need it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry guys, the cameras died.
Yeah.
But now we are back.
So who was drunk saying or like just talking?
Oh, I mean, all of us, everybody, basically like, you know, the flight attendants asking, you know, who's in charge over here. I mean, just a bunch of drunk band guys. But, you know, they're worried about my shorts and my, you know, my booty shorts, when really what they need to worry about is what's going on that plane right there. So it was just crazy. It was funny. Yeah. But definitely that's what happened, is that's kind of like how I started dressing wilder on the road, because you can get away with that. So, and then when we came back from being on the road, we had our baby, our daughter, and we were on the road for a few years, came home, had our baby. And then when I started the denim line, I named Frankie B, is actually my daughter's name, Frankie B. So I named the line after her. And so that's kind of how it all all kind of played into together, you know, like everything kind of worked into each other somehow, you know?
Yeah.
It all kind of made me who I am. So
you mentioned something earlier about like the cool thing about being an artist or like something like that, you could wear like whatever the fuck you want. Like you could express yourself in that way.
Exactly.
Do you think like part of fashion is being like confident in what you wear too?
100%.
Like if I wear some like just an outfit that just looks stupid, but I'm walking around in it like I'm wearing the most dopest thing ever, like does that add to it a little bit?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I feel like confidence is key. And it's just it's whatever makes you feel good. Like, I've never believed in rules. I'm not a rule follower. So I don't believe in like, no whites after Labor Day or, all the silly fashion rules and stuff. I just feel like you wear what makes you feel good and what makes you feel most confident and what you have fun doing. Like, I feel like, life's too short and there's way too many serious shit out there, especially now, to worry about stuff like that. Like, I think you need to just have fun, and if it's having fun with your wardrobe or your style, then you should do it, and I don't believe in rules like you can't wear two different patterns together. I think like if that's your vibe, fucking rock it. Yeah. I mean, that's totally cool. No. So I don't know. I feel like having your own sense of style is really important because you know what looks good on you, you know what you like, you know what makes you feel confident, what makes you feel strong. And like for me, it's funny because I've always felt more confident in jeans. So if I know I'm going to a meeting or if I'm doing something that's important, I want to wear jeans because I'm going to feel better than if I wear a dress or a skirt. And that's just me. Yeah. But, so it's just, I just feel like it just depends on what your personal style is.
How do you think you like find that style just by trying stuff out?
One of the things, and that's actually a really good question. But one of the things that designers do a lot is we pick muses. And you pick a muse.
What is a muse?
A muse is someone that you really think has
like good fashion,
has a good vibe, overall vibe, like someone that you really, someone that you really admire, someone that you like and
like
that you
resonate to kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, like for me, it was always like, I've always really liked Kate Moss. I like Sienna Miller. And so a lot of times I would like look at them and be like, ooh, if I were them, what would I wear? So sometimes you pick a muse or you pick someone that maybe has like a similar body type to you or just someone whose style you like or something or a style that just resonates with you. Like I also look at musicians a lot, like for instance, like David Bowie and, back in his day, like his style was insane and it still holds up. Like I still look back at stuff that he wore and I'm like, damn, I want to do something like that looks like that. Or, so I pick muses and I think a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. Like for instance, a lot of girls want to emulate, Kim Kardashian now and, so
like a lot and stuff like that.
Yeah. So a lot of it like depends on pop culture, I guess, what's going on in the moment. But really it's what you feel comfortable in and what makes you feel good, and what makes you feel powerful.
But skinny jeans are out.
Skinny jeans are out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard done. Like that's like one of the most like overdue trends ever. Like this.
At first I wasn't into skinny jeans because when I started Frankie B, I really was into like the boot cut and the flare leg and that. But I like a skinny jean, especially in the winter when you want to wear boots over your jeans. Skinny jeans are great.
Yeah.
The thing for me was like, okay, I'll tell you, I don't have like rules. Like I don't care. Like if you want to wear a skinny jean, wear a skinny jean. If that's what looks good on you, whatever. But it's about creating balance too when you're dressing. Like if you're going to wear a skinny jean, maybe wear something a little bit more bulky on top. Like it's weird when someone wears, I think, something tight on top and tight on the bottom.
Just look like a stick or some shit.
Yeah.
No, that was me. That was definitely me. I would wear like some skinny ass shit and maybe my shoes looked big too. Like that's what I didn't like about the skinny jeans.
Wait, guys, okay. So do you ever watch Love Island?
Oh man, I think I watched it for a little bit, but I didn't get
Love Island.
Yeah, it's
Love
on
Island.
Netflix.
Yeah. So a lot of the guys on Love Island I noticed were wearing these skinny jeans that were too skinny. They were like too tight, and too skinny, and they were like bulky guys. It looked odd. Like that to me, I don't like that look.
Yeah.
But and then like the no socks with the shoes,
with the
and
shoes.
this.
Yeah, I'm not
That shit's whack, huh?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either.
Yeah, but like honestly, I feel like there are no rules in fashion. Like I feel like you just do you. You know, whatever feels good to you is good by me. But you know, like I like what's going on now. Like I kind of like the cargo pant coming back in, the slouchier, baggier pant. You can eat a little more at Thanksgiving and no one will notice.
The baggy is definitely coming back.
It's definitely coming back.
We actually had the other, you know, one of the other hosts on the show, Logan.
He loves baggy shit.
But he was like wearing baggy shit like maybe a little bit before like
the trend.
And it was super baggy, and we would just clown on him all day. Like, bro,
like
wear something that fits, man. Like your pants are dragging, but like
Yeah.
now I'm wearing baggy shit. Like I'm
Right?
Yeah, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, no,
I'm so sick of it.
I mean, I think it's nice to change things up, and it's nice when things kind of come and go. It gives everybody a little something new to do.
Yeah.
You know, something new to obsess over. But I don't know. I like it all. I always feel like I have like a million different personalities in my closet. It just kind of depends on my mood.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I want something really tight and sexy, and sometimes I want something really kind of baggy and sportier, and so it just depends on my mood.
For wait, just to be clear here, for your low-rise jeans like that you made, were they tight though?
Yeah, they were tight.
They were tight.
Yeah.
But with like boot cut at the bottom.
Yeah,
like
well,
kinda-
some of them were like, they were tight around the thigh. They would break at the knee and just be a little bit more flared.
See, I like that though.
No,
on
I really
girls.
like
I
that.
really like. I like. You say that tight jeans are out, but
No,
I'm
she's
into
talking
that.
about-
No,
she's
not
talking
tight
about for
jeans, skinny
guys.
jeans.
for
Right?
guys, right?
Yeah,
For men.
yeah. Yeah, for
Oh.
men wear tight jeans too.
But like
I don't,
a lot of girls are wearing like looser jeans now too as well.
yeah, they
But,
wear
like,
them loose.
And
yeah.
I feel like not a lot of girls are wearing the tight jeans anymore.
Like the skinny all the way down?
like,
Yeah.
But I like that.
No, I like the where it flares now.
Yeah, I like that. But like
Personally,
tight.
too.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a definitely like a mix right now of that whole 90s, you know, early 2000s fashions coming back, and a lot of girls are still wearing, you know, they're wearing the flares, they're tight on top, they're wearing flares, they're wearing the baggier ones, slouchier jeans. I mean, it all goes.
Yeah.
And I think like as long as you have confidence and you're, you know, you feel good in it, go for it. I don't care. You do you.
Is there anyone that like you're looking at now that you think has pretty good fashion?
In terms of a designer or a person?
Oh,
Both.
both.
Both. I still love looking at musicians because I think musicians to me just have so much individuality and they know who they are. So I love to I love seeing Lady Gaga show up on the red carpet. Like I love to see what
she
she's
goes all
doing
out.
because she goes all out.
She does.
She's really fun.
Yes.
So
You just don't know what to expect.
you
from
don't know
her.
what to expect, and it's
Yeah.
fun, right? So I love that. I love people that dress up and like put in the effort, you know, and they like to wow people.
What about like Miley Cyrus?
Miley Cyrus is great. She's cute too. I mean, you know,
I mean, she went through like a little phase back then where she was just wearing crazy stuff too.
she wore a lot of Frankie B's. She wore a lot of my jeans too.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she wore my jeans a lot. Yeah. Another one. I mean, I love Kate Moss's style still. Who else? Let me think. Frankie. Who else do we look at? Yeah. My daughter, Frankie, in the other room over here.
Frankie B over there.
That's Frankie
Yeah,
B.
there's Frankie B piping up over there. Hannibal Lecter throws me off every once in a while. I'm not going to lie. Staring at him behind you.
I know we need to take this down. It's not even Halloween yet, but
Yeah.
and then I was asking you earlier too about like skin tones, like making clothes pop more. Like, is that even a thing that maybe designers look at and stuff, or that maybe the public should be more aware about?
I mean, you know, again, it's whatever you feel good in, whatever you think looks good on you. You know, everybody kind of knows, you know, like I know when I'm tan, I like to wear, you know, white sometimes because it looks good when I'm tan.
That's okay, kind of true, yeah.
You know, and sometimes I like a bright color. If I'm on vacation, I want to wear bright colors. Like normally I just wear black or white or gray. A lot of times I wear neutrals. But sometimes if I'm on vacation and I want to play a little, I play, you know. So it just kind of depends on whatever you know, what you're feeling, really.
Like, what do you feel like, Dan? Like, what do you feel your fashion is?
You guys are more neutral.
Okay,
huh?
yeah, I'm definitely more neutral. Like for me, I mean, I'm kind of like, okay, so I want to dress like, okay, this is what I want to dress versus how I dress. I want to dress like more expensive looking and more like designer and stuff like that. But
do you like logos and, you know, like?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm pretty cool with that. But then again, I like that kind of like classy look that's just like plain but simple and like not too much, but looks good all the time.
So you do one day and one another day.
Yeah. I'm just lost. Like I don't really have a style for myself, I would say.
Really? I look at you and I think you have your own style.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, I guess.
Like, what would you think his style is? Like,
yeah.
I mean, like he seems like he likes kind of streetwear and.
Yeah, I like streetwear for sure.
Yeah.
I'm more like, I like the very clean look, but I feel like sometimes I get stuck because it's just too. It's too boring, I guess.
Well, just experiment. There's nothing wrong with experimenting, and you know your girls will tell you whether they like what you're wearing or not, right?
No, they will, yeah. Because one day you'll wear something like they like, and they're like, "Wow, I really like that. I really like that." Compared to the other days when they don't say shit.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the best way to do it too. You just don't say anything when you don't like it, and then when you do like it, you hype it up a lot so that you give them the confidence to do it again.
Yeah. So for you, did you ever like catch yourself like with your husband being like, maybe you shouldn't wear that?
Yeah.
So like, are you like a big influence an influence on him as well?
Absolutely not.
No.
Oh, he doesn't.
Not. No, he does his own thing. If I say anything, I don't usually say anything because he's a freaking musician. Yeah. So he looks good. It doesn't matter. You know, he can wear whatever and he can get away with it. Like we can go to like a really dressy event, black tie event, but he can show up wearing leather pants. And he can get away with that. Yeah. You know, it doesn't matter. So I don't really say anything to him. I mean, I buy him clothes. I'll make him clothes so that, you know, that kind of, I'll say, oh, you should wear this. This will look really good on you. But he has his own thing. And so, yeah, no, he would never take advice from me, I don't think.
You have an episode too, and this is kind of just segueing into your podcast where it's mistakes people when they start dating, mistakes people have when they start dating. Like, what do you think those are?
Oh God, mistakes people make when they first start dating. I guess not being honest about what you want, you know, playing games. I guess that would be a mistake. Like you got to be honest, you know, and just kind of lay it out there. But also the biggest mistake I think people make is they don't hide the crazy. You got to hide the crazy for a little while. You got to hook them before you let them see the crazy.
Oh, so you think you should actually hide it a little bit?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But, you know, but just a little bit. But no, I mean, I think honesty is actually the best policy. You know, you just got, you know, if you're just looking for a hookup or, you know, something casual, you got to be upfront about it. Yeah. You know, rather than, you know, date someone who's looking for a relationship and then ghost them after a few months, you know? So I think that's, I don't know.
Do you feel like today, like with dating?
I'm certainly not a relationship expert, kids. Don't take my advice.
Oh, well, you talk about it though.
Yeah, I do.
So you do. I
talk about a lot of things. Doesn't mean I'm an expert.
Us too.
We're definitely not experts. We're not experts. We just like talking about it. Yeah. We just like.
But like you've been in a relationship for
a long
30 years,
time.
30 plus years, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you obviously do have experience. And coming from that experience, do you feel like today's relationships have drastically changed?
I think they have. I think they've changed because of a lot of factors. You know, there's social media, there's dating apps. People don't meet people the way they used to. I'm like really surprised at how people meet each other and they just text. They don't get on the phone.
Right.
They don't call each other. They don't talk to each other. They don't hear each other's voice until much later. You know, that to me is so odd. Like, because you can't like tell people's intentions when you don't hear their tone. You know, like you can misinterpret someone's tone.
Right.
Yeah,
you know, like even like a simple thing like, oh, you look nice in that dress you posted.
Yeah, it could come off weird.
Like you're not your perv.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like that's really different than the way we used to date, because we'd meet each other in clubs or bars, or it wasn't, we didn't have dating apps and all that kind of stuff. So it's totally different. But I think with long-term relationships, a lot of it is about it's all about like relationships are all about like give and take. It's all about sacrifice and about what is that word?
Communication.
No, just giving and taking. Like compromise.
Oh, okay.
Compromise. Yeah. It's all about compromise.
Yeah.
So you can't always have it all your way, and you have to pick your battles. In a long-term relationship, that's the one thing I've really learned is you can't nitpick, and you got to pick your battles. If it's something small, just let it go. Just overlook it.
Yeah.
You don't have to fight about everything. You don't have to argue about every single little fucking thing.
I love that.
I like that one.
I love that.
So wait for the big stuff. Take it down. That's when you take it down.
I've always been I feel like I'm getting better though, but I've been like a very bottled up type of person though. That's kind of bad.
You're not a good communicator?
I'll just kind of eat it. Like if something bugs me, whatever, fuck it.
But do you let it fester then, and then you blow up?
Yeah, I blow up.
He does.
Oh,
if something like comes at me and it's like, I'm like, oh no, but when you, and then it's just, I'm like,
he does do that.
Yeah.
So that's probably not good for a long-term relationship at all.
No.
Yeah.
I'm getting better with it though. I'm definitely getting better with it.
I gotta say, I'm more like you too. I'm quiet and I kind of take it for a while, and then I just blow a gasket, and then there's a point of no return.
Once you're going, you're fucking going, bro.
Yeah. Then it's bad.
There's no going back.
But I've really learned to pick my battles. I'm not gonna I don't want to be a nag and bitch and moan about everything. And the other thing is, I really I feel like when you really love someone, like you really truly love someone and you love their soul and you care about them, you care about their well-being, you want them to have fun in life, and you want them to be themselves, and you want them to be them. You just want to let them be. Like, for instance, my husband rides motorcycles. He's a biker. And everyone's always like, oh, why do you let him ride bikes? It's dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's so dangerous. But the thing is, he loves it. That's his thing. And I'm not his mom. I'm his wife. I'm not going to tell him what to do. I mean, yeah, I worry about him. And yeah, I have like this rule with him, like check in with me and tell me where, you got somewhere so I don't worry, But ultimately, I want him to live his best life. I want him to be himself. I want him to do his thing, and I want him to enjoy his life. Life's short, and it's like before you know it, I can't believe him and I have been together so long. It went by in a flash. And, the one thing is like, I want him to be happy, I just want him to be happy. So we try to do that with each other, just try to let each other be who they are. And not change people too much. If you find out right off the bat, listen, you met this person and this person has all these bad habits and they do a lot of shit you don't like, that's probably not your person.
Right.
Yeah, you just gotta let go at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I personally don't like social media and our generation of dating.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, it's terrible.
I feel like it causes so much fucking comparison and like you can compare yourself to another couple, but like behind the phone you don't even know what that couple's going through either.
That's the thing.
Their
is
couple
like
could be like their relationship could be way worse than yours, but on camera theirs looks a lot better, so now you're getting compared to that.
Totally. It's so true. It's so fake. And that's the thing, is that you have to always remember, people are only showing you what they want you to see. You know, they're not going to show you the mundane shit of, you know, the couple sitting there arguing over bills. You know, they're not going to snap a video of that and put that on TikTok.
No, they definitely will not. No.
You know, they're not going to, you know, sit there and be like, you know, oh, I don't feel pretty today. I've got period cramps and I'm bloated. You know, they're not going to do that.
They're just going to show you the fancy dinners or maybe like you know, them going
he took me out on a cute date.
Yeah,
like,
look at me. I'm in Paris. Putting a cute lock on the bridge with my boyfriend.
With my boyfriend, yeah. But 30 minutes before that, we're arguing about some dumb shit. Like,
and then everybody else is like, damn, I want to go to Paris and put our love lock on a bridge. And that's not even true. You know, it's like, just everybody needs to kind of like realize that is just... it's crap, you know, and people are only putting out there what they want to put out. Yeah. And initially, one of the reasons why I went on Instagram and why I was really into it in the beginning was because I wanted to feel inspired. I wanted to see pretty pictures. I wanted to follow photographers and like-minded people like creative directors, makeup artists, hairstylists, designers, graphic designers, artists, you know, like I wanted to feed like my thirst for art and for, you know, creativity, but it's switched somewhere along the line and it's not about that anymore. So, you know,
I think it did for sure.
Yeah. And it's a much harder time to date. I mean, I see even like my friends now, even that are older, that are single now because they've been through a marriage or whatever, and now they find themselves older and they're trying to date, and it's so hard because it's like, you know, besides the fact that everything is filtered, so you go on a date with somebody, you meet them on an app, and then you go into the bar and you walk in and you're like, where is that person?
It is a lot filtered though. Those filters are crazy.
So it's very different. It's a very different time.
I fucking put one on my face. It makes my jawline skinnier and like, it's like all this great. It's kind of crazy because you look at it and you're like, man, I kind of look good a little bit. Then you take it off and it's all fucking.
Oh, believe me, I love a good filter or two or three or four, but
me too, but
you know, I'm not trying to date anybody, so I don't care. But so
so they actually think it's harder now.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's so hard because, you know, at a certain age group, you know, you don't go to bars, you know, and you know, you feel odd going to a bar or a club. You know, what are you going to do? Go to a dance club? You know, so you have to go on apps also, and it's hard because, you know, people are, you know, girls, a lot of my friends feel the same way, and guys too. You know, they meet people and they like them, they start talking to them, and then they just fall off. They're like, what happened? What did I say? What did I do? So it's tough.
I would like for you to maybe like give some advice or just say something about like how your relationship has worked for so long and like how it was so good, and how did you know that your husband was the one from you, especially because like that was like your boyfriend since you were 16?
Okay, so let's see. With my husband and I think one of the things that's really great is that we balance each other. He is a really good communicator and I'm not. So when things are kind of going wrong, where I will internalize, he will verbalize, you know? And so we kind of like, we're like we're kind of like a seesaw, you know? We're good at like, you know, hey, he'll pull me in and be like, okay, so I'm feeling this type of way, and I think you're feeling that type of way, so we should talk about it, you know? So he's really good at that. And I think if we were both the silent but deadly type, it would be bad, you know?
Yeah, because then you both would explode and
yeah.
it's over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But also it's about understanding each other. Like I have to try to like put myself in his shoes, and he has to try and put himself in my shoes. You know, like I have to kind of see things from his point of view. Like sometimes when I get mad about something, I'd be like, well, how would I feel if I was in his shoes? You know, how would that make me feel? Yeah. So maybe I am wrong. Maybe I do owe him an apology. And I think that that's one of the hardest things that he will tell you. One of the hardest things in dealing with me is that his perception of me is that he thinks I think I'm always right.
Oh shit.
and that I don't apologize very often. But what can I do when I'm always right? No, I'm kidding.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I think it's all about, you know, being able to communicate each other's feelings to each other and being able to understand. I think one of the key components is that we've always known that we want to be together. So how do we make that work? You know we want to be together. That's the ultimate goal, is that we don't want to be apart from each other. We love each other. So we have to try to understand where the other person is coming from. And we're trying to, you know, create some sensibility when there isn't any sometimes, you know.
So that's something you just learned over time throughout the relationship. You guys weren't always like
still learning.
this.
I am still learning. Our relationship is constantly evolving and changing, and we're still learning. Like we're by far not perfect. You know, we have had our ups and downs. We have had our drag them out, you know, arguments, and we've thought that's it. We can't be together anymore. We're too fucking crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, ultimately we always know we don't want to be without each other. We want to be together. So we have to make it work. So how do we make it work? We have to communicate through this. We have to get through this. We have to communicate through this. And we just have to do the work. So
yeah, it is work. You got to put
it's work. It's constant work.
And I like that you said it too. Like, I'm still constantly learning, and it's been 30 years. Like,
yeah.
You do in a way like have to just keep fucking learning,
because people evolve, right? So people as they get older, they change. You know, you change, your career changes,
your motive changes,
everything changes. Your pressures changes, you know, societal pressures, or just like feeling like you're getting older and you've got to do things differently, or you got to succeed, or it's going to be too late, or, you know, all kinds of things happen in your life as you get older. And you have kids and you disengage because now you're just all about the kids and you're about the mundane shit, and you forget to go out on dates and be romantic with each other. You know, so there's so many changes and things that happen in a relationship over time that you have to learn to like readjust and kind of recalibrate your relationship, you know?
Would you say that some of that pressure like helped you build your brand for the jeans too? Like maybe, you know, he was, you know, doing a lot of his tours and stuff, and you kind of felt like I want to do something. Like, I want to do something big. You
know, one of the coolest things he ever did for me was I was just working a lot of different jobs, odds and ends here and there, and nothing really was a career. And so when he was in GNR, he said to me, he goes, you know, this is your time, because I can afford to take care of us right now. So this is your time to really think about what you want to do for your career. Dope. You know,
that's super fucking amazing.
Yeah. And that when he said that to me, it really resonated. Yeah. And I was like, well, I think I'm into photography. He's like, great, I'll buy you a camera. You know, and so I went into photography, and I did fashion photography, and I did styling, and I really was into fashion. And then I realized I was more into the clothing aspect of it than I was the photography part of it. Oh, right. So he gave that to me, and that was the gift he gave me. was, saying, really think about, you have time right now. You don't have to like go and wait tables.
Yeah, work these jobs that you don't want to work.
Yeah, you have the time, the luxury of time to figure out what it is that you want to do.
That's so cool.
And so that was like something that I'd forever be grateful to him for.
Yeah.
And over the years, from what I've evolved as a person too, like from like being a stylist, photographer, my early days, like doing a little bit of modeling to, becoming a designer and owning this huge company to, now I'm doing, I have an activewear brand. So I sold my denim line and now I have an activewear brand called Solo, which you guys should check out. It's super cool.
Yeah. Everybody should check this shit
out. It's
check it out in the description. We'll link everything.
Yeah, it's a really cool activewear brand, and the whole premise behind it is I wanted to create an activewear line that you could wear out, that it could have multi-purposes. Cool. So you could wear it to go work out, but you could also put a pair of jeans over it and, wear the top out, or you could,
that sounds just like me too, because I love feeling comfortable too.
Yeah.
So is that kind of like down the path that you're going with it too?
Yeah, totally.
It's like comfortable, but
it's comfortable, nice. But it's cool and it's kind of edgy. It's a little edgier, like I was looking at what all the activewear is that's out there right now, and it's all like, activewear. So it's all like, namaste activewear, yoga wear. And I thought, well, I want to do something that's more my personality because that's kind of my vibe. So I wanted something a little edgier, a little sexier, a little more fun that I could kind of also wear out if I wanted to. I wouldn't feel like I was just wearing yoga pants. So I started doing Solo, and I've got my podcast, which is Honest as Fuck. It's called Honest AF, which I do with my partner, Barbara Ann Wild.
Amazing podcast.
It's such a fun podcast. Oh my God. It's so fun to do these podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get into it? Like, how does that conversation start about starting a podcast?
It's so funny because it happened again organically. I think sometimes in life, you just kind of have to like keep your eyes and ears open and be open, just in general, just be open, take in information, and look around you and see what's going on. And Barbara Ann and I have a lot in common. We're friends. We're friends first. Her husband is Zach Wild, who has been Ozzy's guitar player for the past, like, God knows how long. And he's also got his own band called the Black Label Society. He's an amazing, amazing guitar player. And so we're both married to guitar players. We're both moms. We both have been married for 255 years.
No.
And we're both of a certain age. And I started to notice that when her and I were texting each other, our text threads, I was reading through our text threads, and I started to notice that everything we talk about is about aging, about beauty products, beauty tools, procedures, like everything we were talking about. And so I was like, Barb, we should have our own podcast. And this was right during the beginning of the pandemic. Right. I go, what if we did like our own podcast where we share all this information? Because there's a lot of information that we weren't given as young girls about aging and about what happens to our bodies when we age and about like, all the different like hormonal changes that you go through, which I'm sure you guys do not want to hear about. But there's a lot of things that women go through when they have babies and even when they don't have babies and just when they age or even just juggling work and family life and being married and being a friend and being a mother and being a sister and being a daughter and being a wife and having children and having a career. Like there's so many things that go into our lives.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That, we should just share that information, the things that we didn't know about that all of a sudden, like I didn't know, that my marriage would take all these twists and turns, over time. I didn't know that my career would take all these twists and turns. I didn't know my body was going to feel differently. I didn't know how fast that was going to affect me, So we wanted to talk about that. So I was like, let's start a podcast and just shoot the shit and talk about all this stuff. And we do. We talk about everything. We talk about sex. We talk about marriage. We talk about kids. We talk about pop culture, movies, all the different, like, the Dahmer series was just on, and we talked about that and how, crazy that was. And
you guys lived it.
Yeah, we lived through that. I remember, and that was really scary when that happened.
Yeah.
And we talk about current events. We talk about everything. And we've had like amazing guests on too. We've had like Sharon Osbourne was a guest on our show.
Oh, that's so cool.
We've had Sharon. And Sharon and I actually did a TV show together. I got cast to do a show called Rock of Love Charm School, and I don't know if you were too young, but there was a show called Rock of Love on VH1, and it was Bret Michaels from Poison.
Yes, I know that show, bro.
Right?
Yeah, and he got to choose like out of a bunch of different girls.
From a bunch of different girls, kind of like The Bachelor, but rock and roll.
Rock and roll, yeah.
Yeah, rock and roll Bachelor, and it was like total debauchery and craziness. And my daughter and my husband and I watched that show, and we loved it. We were like obsessed with it. We watched it so much. And then lo and behold, I get a phone call one day from VH1, and they were like, we're doing a show called Rock of Love Charm School, where we take all the girls that Bret didn't choose and we put them through Charm School, and we want you and Sharon Osbourne and Ricky Rackman, who was an MTV VJ, to be the deans and the school principal of this school and put them through it. And I was like, oh, wow. I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, I don't know how to do that. I'm just, I make clothes for a living. And they're like, no, you can totally do it. And then my daughter, Frankie, was like, oh, you have to do it. Yeah. There's no way you're not doing that show. And I'm like, I don't know. What am I going to do? And they're like, just be yourself. I was like, oh, okay. So Sharon and I ended up doing the show together, and I didn't even know Barbara Ann Wild at the time. And she was talking about Zach and being in Ozzy's band and stuff. And then I met Barb, and we just totally clicked, and we just became really good friends, really close friends. And then we decided to start the podcast, and it's just natural. We just, like you guys, we just sit around and talk about nothing, something,
just like
whatever. Yeah.
That's so
and we
cool.
love it. It's called Honest AF.
Yeah.
And it's just, super fun show.
Yeah. Check that out.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So it's fun.
I'm actually you said like we wouldn't be interested in it, but I'm actually pretty interested in like the hormonal changes that you were talking about. Cause it's not the same for us. Like, I don't think we go through that. So like, what is that exactly? Men do go through that. Men go through hormonal changes also. And you go through a lot of changes in life. And for women, it can hit some women in their 40s and like as early as in their early 40s. And you start to change, like you start to like not feel like yourself. You start having a little bit, some women have depression. Some women have what's called hot flashes, where because your hormones is what regulates your body temperature. And you start to get hot. Like I'm sure you've heard your mom's.
My mom is like that right now.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just hot right now. I need to take off my sweater.
So we talk about all that and how to regulate it, how to deal with it, because we're going through it too. We're going through it at the same time. So we talk about all that like in real time, because we're going through all kinds of shit, you know? And, also when you start to age, you start to feel like, well, you're not that pretty anymore, maybe. You look at younger girls and you're like, oh, I'm not young anymore. Now I'm older. Does my dude not like me anymore because I'm older? I got wrinkles, or this is sagging or that sagging, so we talk about that. We talk about exercise and being healthy and eating well and like taking care of yourself. And we talk about all that stuff, and all that stuff I wish I would have known when I was younger, so that I could have prepared myself,
Yeah.
So we're trying to be of service.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you think your biggest tip to like your younger self would have been then? Like now?
Stay the fuck out of the sun.
Oh,
what?
The sun. No, my fucking face is fucked up too. I have like these scars because I had really bad acne. Mm-hmm. And they did tell me stay the fuck out of the sun.
Yeah, because the sun does so much damage. And at the time I was like, oh, I don't care. I'm never going to be old. I'm never going to be wrinkled.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm going to look cute, all tan and bronzed. Fuck sunblock. Bring on the sun. I want a tan. But you know what? Now I'm paying for it, because when you get older, your skin doesn't do as well when you've been in the sun a long time. So you get like freckles and sunspots. You get wrinkles. Your skin loses its elasticity. So I would definitely recommend sunblock, and so does Barb. Barb, my partner on Honest AF, does a segment every episode. She does a segment called Barb's Bag of Tricks, and she takes out a bag and she pulls out like a great product that everybody should use that can help with, like, skincare product, or it's a sexual product. It could be lube. It could be a libido enhancing gummy. It could be a serum. It could be a really great cosmetic that has sunblock infused in it. So we always have like a Barb's Bag of Tricks. It could be like an at-home laser product that helps keep your skin tight. So all that stuff
starts like, now.
It starts now. Like, you got to start maintaining.
Already be on that shit.
Yeah, you got to start taking care of your skin. You got to start maintaining, drinking water. Water is so important. Yeah. And just looking after yourself, getting good sleep, exercising, getting your body like used to always being mobile.
Yeah.
And keeping your mind active is so important. Like I try to stay youthful by keeping my mind active. And it's really helpful to me that, my daughter is her and I are really close. So she helps me, keep active with like what the trends are, what, current music is, she introduces me to all these like new bands and new music. And I feel like that keeps me more youthful because I'm more like in tune to what's going on. Like I'm not,
it's just lost.
I'm not
talking and stuff.
Yeah. And, she's also my IT person. So I'm always like, Reggie, what's my phone doing right now?
Going through an update.
Yeah. So it's great. And she's super fun. She's following in her dad's and my footsteps, which is so fun for us because she's in a band. They're called Frankie and the Studs, a punk rock band. She's the lead singer. They're super fun. Nice. If you ever hear them out playing, you should go see them play because she is a beast on stage.
Yeah, hopefully we can go.
I want to go.
You guys should go.
We'll definitely
go. She's doing a residency for the month of January at Harvard and Stone, which is a really cool club out in Hollywood. You guys should try to catch every Monday night. But she's been out. She was out on tour with Billie Joe Armstrong from Green Day, who found her on Instagram. So there you go. He found her on Instagram.
That's one of the benefits. Yeah.
There you go. There's a benefit. So, between her doing that, and her and I collaborate a lot on fashion, and we do a lot of things, a lot of projects together. So it's really fun. It keeps me young. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
We should go.
Yeah,
we'll go.
You should go.
We'll go and we'll record it for our vlog channel too.
You should. Yeah. They're such a cool band. They're punk rock and just like really cool energy. And she's like really fun on stage. Really fun to watch.
I can't wait to see you.
Oh, you're playing in Orange County soon. Oh, look at the peanut gallery piping up over there.
Okay. Frankie B over there.
Orange County.
Yeah.
Yep. Frankie and the Studs in Orange County.
Down the street.
Yep.
Yep.
You guys will have to come.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, no excuse. You guys are close.
Yeah. But I mean, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. When are you guys going to come on my podcast?
Oh,
we would love that one.
I would love that.
I would hope you had like fun.
We
today.
love getting guys' point of views. We've had so many different guests, just like you guys. We had a sex author that you guys should get on your podcast. She's amazing. Her name is
it's a girl.
Get this, her name is Tracy Cox. So she was destined to either be a sex author or a porn star, one of the two.
Perfect.
But she's amazing. She's an amazing guest. We've had her on. She talks everything sex. She's so great.
Nice.
Super honest.
Yeah.
And like I said, we've had like a lot of musicians on. We've had like Macy Gray on our show.
Yeah.
A lot of musicians' wives, like some of the wives from We had Brittany Cade, who's married to Mike Dirt from Green Day. And we've had Chloe Trujillo, who's married to Robert Trujillo from Metallica.
Legends.
We've had some like really great musical guests. We've had beauty guests. We have doctors, plastic surgeons, estheticians, you name it.
Good. That's
sex therapists, counselors.
Make sure to check out her podcast. It's fucking amazing. Everything will be in the description.
It's really fun. So we'd love to have you guys on. So
let's do it.
You have to return the favor.
We will.
That would be amazing.
I would be more than happy to.
Yeah.
There was one last thing I wanted to ask you too.
Yeah.
So Brent actually told us about this, and he wrote down the Carmen Electra story.
Oh, the Carmen Electra story. Oh, God.
And he said, who else have you seen naked?
Everyone.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people naked.
So
I mean, I'm a designer. They all come into my office and drop their clothes. I've seen them all naked.
But what's behind the Carmen Electra story? And for people that don't know Carmen Electra, who is she? She was like a model, right?
Yeah. Carmen Electra was, she started out as, she was a Prince. You know who Prince is, right?
Right.
She was like his prodigy, really. And she started out like as a singer, model, actress.
Yeah.
And she ended up marrying.
And she was with Dennis
Rodman,
yeah, right?
who's a basketball star. She married him for a little bit. And then she married Dave Navarro from Jane's Addiction. And he was also in the Red Hot Chili Peppers. She's just like, you look her up. I mean, she's drop dead gorgeous. She's just gorgeous.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Really beautiful. She came over to my house one time and she wanted to get some jeans. So she came in and I took her down to my bedroom and she was like, taking off her clothes, getting naked in my bedroom, trying on jeans. And I was like, oh man, she has like one of the best bodies I've ever seen in my life and one of the best like skin on her body. Like she just looked like a bronze goddess. And I'm like looking at her going, oh my God, like that's not fair. And then all of a sudden I hear my husband coming down the hallway. Can I come in? I'm like, hell no, you can't come in here. You'll never look at me the same if you see her. Yeah, no, you're not coming in here. So, I think that's the story he meant. That's right. That might be the story he meant.
So how would he know that? Was that like a big story or something?
I talked about it on the podcast.
Oh, you talked
probably.
about it? Okay,
I probably talked about it. Either that or another time there was another Carmen Electra story. I don't know why there's always Carmen Electra stories.
Yeah.
But there was another Carmen Electra story. I was going, okay, guys, here you go. This was in the early 2000s. I was going to get a wax.
Okay.
For my jeans, right? I was going to get my wax. And my waxing lady said to me, her name was Cindy, and she said to me, hey, you know what? I want you to meet somebody. And I go, oh, okay. Right now? And she goes, yes, she's just in the other room. I want you to meet someone in the other room. And she opens the door and pushes me into this room, and there's Carmen laying on her waxing table, naked, about to get waxed, and she just shoved me into the room, and I'm like, hi. And she goes, Carmen, this is Daniela. I wanted the two of you to meet. And I'm like, oh, hi. Oh my God, this is not awkward at all.
Because, and that was the first time.
It was the first time I ever met her. Yeah, it was the first time I ever met her. And then, we became friends, and she wanted jeans, and she modeled for me in a couple of my fashion shows. Nice. and that whole thing. But yeah, somehow every time I saw her, she was naked, but.
Lucky.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
just from like, because I like business a lot. So like your whole evolution of the jeans is just like so cool to me. I just had to say it because you said you went from what were the sales you said you went from
50K
from 50,000 the first year to 6.5 the third year, and then we just kept going and going and going and going and going, and we built. I mean, at the end of the day, I was generated over $100 million worth of denim sales. Wow. So at that time,
congratulations.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then I sold the company in 2011. So
how come you sold it?
I sold the company actually because it was right after, it was during the recession.
Okay.
There was a really bad, the economy hit the skids. Things were getting real bad. And so I ended up selling the business because I had a really good run with the business, but things started taking a turn and I was like, okay, time to get out.
Yeah, people just...
And you know what? I didn't react fast enough. I should have gotten out even sooner. And I think that's another key thing that we can talk about at another time, but in business is knowing when the right time is to get out.
Let that shit go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And what happens at that time too.
Yeah.
It's also another interesting story. So, but we've been gabbing for 2 hours?
Yeah, almost 2 hours. But
Yeah, we do need to talk about this though on your podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on our podcast, sharing those amazing stories.
So amazing, Miss Daniela.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and please check out everything that we list in the description with her brands now, her daughter's shows. It's gonna be amazing. So
check it all out.
Thank you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, you guys. It's so fun.
It was really amazing, and I'm excited to go on yours.
Yeah, I'd love to have you guys. Would love to get your perspective. It'd be so fun.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. And you guys would love my partner Barb. You'd love her.
She's
really
Barb.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
We'll do a special bag of tricks for you guys.
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Good night, guys.
Bye.